Hello, this is Julia Bushkova, and today I'm going to show you how to take care of your violin. So, in order to keep your violin in the best playing condition and also the best looking condition, you need several things. The most important, of course, is the everyday violin cloth. It can be made out of microfiber of one or the other sort, or it can be just a simple flannel type of thing. It doesn't matter, but it should not be, of course, abrasive. If you go to a luthier store or dealership, of course, you can buy one, and usually they're great quality things. So these days, I would use one of those. When you clean your violin, it is very important to not press the cloth into the violin. Remember, you're not polishing it, you're cleaning it. So, for instance, if you have rosin, as you can see, I actually don't, because I did clean my violin after I last played it. But sometimes we have rosin here on the fingerboard, we have rosin right here on the varnish. And in order for this rosin not to set in and not to push it into the varnish, it's very important that you place the cloth like this and lightly do this motion. Okay, and you go all the way under the fingerboard and then also on the fingerboard, just like this, very lightly. This way you are not going to implant any particles of rosin or dust into the varnish. I would do it everywhere. I would suggest to do it everywhere, in this place, and also even to go under the bridge, this little place under the bridge that you can push your cloth in there. It's important to lightly wipe the sides, and here you are. You will have a nice looking and playing instrument. If you do it every time after you play it, you will actually pretty much never need to have to polish it. That's a big plus. Number two, what happens with our instruments is that with time and playing, we will look inside and we will see that something moves in there. Something is rolling. We call those things dust bunnies. Yes, there is dust that gathers inside of the F-holes, and gradually over the course of some years, more and more dust gathers there, some lint, some whatever, and you will get something moving inside of the instrument if you rotate it. Needless to say, whatever is inside of the instrument will impede the sound to some degree. It will diminish the sound production because the wood here and there, everywhere on the violin, has to vibrate very freely as we can have it vibrate. So, to clean it, the old method is to put some plain old white rice in there. Yes, actually rice. So, here's some rice that I have, and the reason to do it is to place your violin on some surface, and then to take rice and just gently put this rice inside of the violin, and hopefully not on your carpet, like this. So here we have this kind of messy thing going on. So now a bunch of rice is inside the violin. What we do this, we roll it around there, just like this. We can roll it everywhere, and then you will of course shake it out. And as you can see, the rice is falling out of the violin. When you shake it like this, you can do many different movements to make sure that not a single particle of rice is somewhere in your violin. Now you see that sometimes it takes a long time to get this rice out, which is what, 1-2 minutes. But you did get all the rice out. There's nothing there now, and the violin is very clean. Now, to tell you the truth, my violin really didn't need it, because my violin is kept clean all the time. So by the way, the rice thing is, of course, comes from luthiers. It's not I who invented that, and be sure to use very dry rice. And white rice is good. Why? Because if your violin is really dirty, the rice that will come out would not be as white as it was from falling out from my violin, but it will be rather very gray. And you will see it. Now, if you still have, then you can look at your violin and see if anything is still moving there. Sometimes the rice would break up the bunnies, dust bunnies. Sometimes actually it won't if the dust bunnies are very mature. And then you can take the tweezers that should be with you at all times. What you do is you would do this with violin by looking into the F hole, and at some point you will see that thing rolling there. So you need to aim that so that it is in one of the F, either here in the middle of the F hole or in one of these holes. So once it is there and you see it, you will take tweezers, you will put it right there, and you will take the dust bunny out, and it will be gone into the garbage bin. And one more thing that you should pretty regularly do with the violin, that is cleaning the fingerboard. There is one very good method of cleaning the fingerboard, and it's using sterile alcohol swabs. You can get them at any pharmacy, and you open this one up. Sometimes they would be still very moist, so what I usually do, I actually squeeze the excess alcohol out of them. This one isn't too much, so that's fine. I always place a rag here, or a cloth rather, to protect the varnish, because alcohol is deadly to the varnish. If any drop of it gets on the varnish will be eaten, since alcohol is a solvent. But then you take this and you just go in between the strings like so. So this is around the E string, then between A and D strings, and I actually do get under the string a little bit, and so on, and you clean the whole fingerboard. If your fingerboard is really dirty, you would see a lot of staining on the swab. Sometimes certain fingerboards are actually painted black, and sometimes it's an actual color that drains also, so you have to be careful. If you see that the fingerboard is getting lighter and lighter and lighter, the color on the swab is not necessarily the dirt, but actually is a little bit of the color of the paint. However, the old violins, always the ebony on them is very old and it's really black and nothing comes out, so it will be absolutely clean after you do the cleaning. It will remain really white. After this, your fingerboard will be a pleasure to play on. Everything will move very smoothly. You won't have any feeling of being stuck. There will be no sweat on it. Another thing that you can use, another one of those alcohol swabs for, is to disinfect your chin rest. Again, when you play a lot and you have a lot of sweat, or even not a lot of sweat, but still some sweat is there, and friction, it is a good idea once in a while to disinfect your chin rest area. It's very safe as long as you don't touch the varnish. That's about maintaining and keeping our instrument clean. Thank you for watching. Now I've got some of this inside of my violin.